Welcome to the 12th Man FC channel. My name is Edwin, and this is your home for all things football. And we've got a very, very big weekend in the Premier League coming up, especially given that it has been a very interesting week in general for the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, and even Crystal Palace, having snapped Liverpool's perfect start to the season last weekend and also getting the job done in the Conference League today against Dynamo Kiev, beating them 2-0. So they're on like a 19-match unbeaten run. Let's get started. Let's talk about the main match of the weekend, which is going to be Chelsea hosting Liverpool at the Bridge. This is going to be a huge match, especially given how the narrative is somewhat shifting between Liverpool and Arsenal this season. A lot of people are definitely feeling much more strongly now in their opinions that Arsenal could go all the way this season, finally, under Mikel Arteta, and win a Premier League title. So, Liverpool, although having, gotten that 5-game win streak to start the season off, their performances haven't necessarily been there. And it's got some Liverpool fans, weary of that because of the fact that although, yes, they won all those matches, they've left it late, and they've gotten some get out of jail free cards in some of those wins as well. Let's talk about Liverpool's kind of current form at the moment. So the performances haven't been there. They lost to Crystal Palace last weekend, which was a deserved loss. Crystal Palace was definitely the much better team, and they even could have Crystal Palace even could have won the match 3 or 4-0 by the end of the first half, if we're being completely honest. And then, at the midweek, losing 1-0 to Galatasaray in what was a close match in general. It could have been anyone's match. And yes, it was a weak penalty that they conceded and lost to. However, it's the fact that the match was so close, because that has been the theme throughout all of Liverpool's performances so far this season. So what's going on with that, basically, is what everyone wants to know. So I think it's important to realize that although Arne Slot won the league last season very dominantly with Liverpool, he did inherit Jurgen Klopp's team. So he didn't really make any changes at all to the squad last season. So he inherited what was Jurgen Klopp's team. One could even debate that if Jurgen Klopp hadn't, left the position as manager last season, or at the end of 2 seasons ago, he could have won the league himself last season. So although this is Slot's second season in charge of Liverpool, it kind of feels like it's really his first, because he is building his team. He had a massive summer, or Liverpool had a very massive summer in the transfer market, and there has been upheaval within the club. They got rid of Trent. They brought in a lot of new players. They signed 2 new fullbacks. They made the push for Alexander Isak and ended up getting that deal, while also securing Ekitike somehow. And then obviously Mohamed Salah is still the player that he is, but he's not really performing right now at the moment. And then also bringing in Florian Wirtz, who was brought in to be their main creative point of attack. So I think that Liverpool are in a somewhat of a rebuild at the moment, because of the fact that Slot is building his own team, so everything kind of has to mesh. And it's going to take some time. Florian Wirtz has to get used to the league and the physicality of everything and the speed of play. And he's not doing a bad job either, in my opinion. Although a lot of people may feel that he's a flop right now, which makes absolutely no sense to me, because of the fact that it's his first season, and the season is so young right now. Also add in the fact that Alisson got injured at the midweek against Galatasaray as well. Konate isn't performing at his best either. He's making mistakes pretty much every match that are nearly costly or have cost them. And Salah as well also isn't really playing on his best, and it's not necessarily him, it's more so the way that the team is set up and is playing right now. I think getting rid of Trent has, negatively impacted Salah's game. So if you want to compare, Salah last season, his stats per 90 minutes compared to so far this season, there are a lot of drop-offs in performance, I guess. So if you look at last season, his touches in opposition box per 90 minutes averaged about 10.34 from what I'm seeing. Compare that to this season, it's at 8.52. The drop-off is 17.6%. Then you have successful dribbles last season, 1.6. This season, so far, after 6 matches, it's 0.17. That is a very, very big drop-off. Total touches as well, 49.3 last season. Right now, it's at 43.14. So there's a lot of things that aren't really going their way in terms of the creativity and attack. Also, getting rid of Luis Diaz as well has kind of hindered them also. Because I felt like he was a player that offered a lot and was a huge threat going forward. The ball was brought to those attacking players in much more dangerous areas compared to this season. But again, I think all of that is going to come with time. You just need to give Florian Wirtz and Szoboszlai and even Mohamed Salah the time to kind of adapt to this new system that Arne Slot is trying to employ. Because it's not for a lack of having the creativity. They definitely have it in all of those players that are there. Frimpong as well is going to offer a good amount going forward. He just needs to kind of find his rhythm. And although it's not going to be the same that Trent Alexander-Arnold was offering in the attack, he's still going to offer a lot. And yeah, I do think it's going to come together. I do think out of any team that's going to win the league this season, I think Liverpool and Arsenal have the best chance, without a doubt. So I think it's just a matter of things kind of working out. But I don't know. We'll kind of see how it goes. And then mentioning Arsenal, I do think that Arsenal probably have the best chance out of everyone right now. Before the season started, I definitely predicted that Liverpool would, retain their title. And I had Arsenal coming in second. But so far, after 6 games played, my mind's kind of changing a bit, and I'm shifting that over to Arsenal because of the fact that they've built the foundation with Mikel Arteta the past 3 or 4 seasons, and that foundation is still there. They just added the missing pieces that they needed, like an actual striker, and they got that in Gyökeres. They needed it a winger. They got that in Madueke, and they also brought in Eze, an actual number 10, to kind of supplement Odegaard. And Odegaard is also finding his way back into top form. So a lot of fans are definitely happy with his performances so far this season. So yeah, I think Arsenal have the much more sound team because of the fact that they've had a solid foundation for a while now, and they just added the supplements that they needed to make it much stronger. So they still have their core base while also having the needed additions and also having the backup to allow the core team to perform and take a step back when need to. Right. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting title race. And then you want to talk about City. Not the best conversation right now, but City is a team that have been struggling for over a year, and I don't really see it improving, not this season at least. I don't think that you could fully count them out and rule them out just yet. However, because it's City, they are definitely capable of making the title race interesting. I just don't think that they have the tools that they need to actually win the league and overcome the adversity that they're going through right now, because they themselves are going through a total rebuild as well. They've brought in a lot of players this summer. They did have a very good summer window, but they also got rid of a lot of players as well. But yeah, we have a new base and a new foundation that's trying to be built, and Guardiola is definitely trying to experiment with a new playing style that I'm not really I'm not really confident in, but it's because of the fact that we're giving up the dominance, I guess, and grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, and having the opposition pinned in their own half the majority of the match while creating loads of chances. That's not really the style that I'm seeing so far this season, and that was the style of play that we struggled to play with last season. So yeah, I'm not really used to seeing City kind of adjusting to the opponents that they're playing against and kind of sitting back to like, I think the perfect example of it was against Arsenal a couple weekends ago, where we sat back and we tried to absorb as much pressure as possible and hope to catch Arsenal on a counterattack. And yes, the plan nearly worked out to perfection, because we almost got away with a win there, but a lapse of judgment, towards the end of the game caused us the 3 points, and we ended up just taking 1 point from that match. And then you saw it again during midweek against Monaco in the Champions League. Although yes, City were extremely dominant that match, they just weren't. They weren't really. They were dominant in sense of possession, right? But they weren't really doing anything with possession. They weren't creating loads of chances. Monaco had much more corners than City did. They had slightly more XG. City they committed way more fouls than Monaco. Although it was a dominant performance, I guess, if you want to call it that on paper, if you watch the match, they weren't really doing anything. And then a lapse of judgment late in the game again, with Nico Gonzalez giving away that penalty, cost the 3 points there, and we ended up taking a point from it. But yeah, City are missing a lot, and I think that's the reason why we've seen them struggling for over a year now. Having lost Rodri last season in September, and he missed the rest of the season from then on, and we're just getting him back now, and he's kind of building his way back up, but it's that's going to take a lot of time. Phil Foden also wasn't really at his best last season. I didn't think it was that bad, but he wasn't at his best compared to by his standards, he wasn't at his best, and he's finding his rhythm again now. Kevin De Bruyne was struggling with loads of injuries last season, so we had those creative outlets kind of like stripped, and we also had the stability of the middle of the park stripped away as well after Rodri's departure through injury. So yeah, I think those are the core issues to why City aren't performing at the level that we're used to seeing them perform at, because they don't really have the stability in the middle of the park, and they're lacking the creativity going forward. Yeah, I don't really think that City have the tools to win the league or really even compete for it, but I don't think that you can necessarily rule them out just yet. So we'll see. And then, of course, we have Crystal Palace, who are on an incredible run of form right now. This is by far the best calendar year that in their entire club's history, having won 2 trophies and also on a 19-match unbeaten run as well, and snapped Liverpool's win streak last weekend as well. So they're up to 3rd, I want to say, in the league. Yeah, up to 3rd in the league right now. They've got Everton at the weekend, which should be a really good match because Everton as well, having found some good form this season with Jack Grealish and a new stadium, so the atmosphere there is magnifying and everything. But yeah, Crystal Palace also, and then with the rumors that Oliver Glasner might be interested in the Manchester United job, could kind of maybe take them off their game just a bit, but I don't really see that happening. So yeah, although Crystal Palace are, in the conversation now, I think that momentum would definitely carry them through the rest of the season. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I don't really know how the league's going to go, but yeah, I don't really see City competing that much, to be brutally honest, and that sucks. All right, big matches in the league this upcoming weekend. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit that notification bell, so you get updated when I post my next video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.